Now questions are being asked about another genocide in another part of the world. But this time they're being raised in the court of public opinion. Austrian novelist Peter Handke was awarded this year's Nobel Prize in Literature. He's been called everything from a genius to a genocide denier for denying atrocities carried out by Serbian forces against the Bosniak population during the 1990s Yugoslav war. And now, 5 years after Handke himself called the Nobel Prize a false canonization of literature and said it should be abolished, many think he might have been right. Well, to discuss this, I'm joined now from London by Neven Andjelic. He's a reader in international relations and human rights at Regent's University. Good to have you on the program. I mean, it's becoming really clear that the Nobel Prize is definitely not a sainthood. But, you know, thinking about this academically aside, put that aside, emotionally, how much of a stab in the heart of the Bosniak people especially was it that he was handed the prize?
I think they felt really hard about this award. This is not the first time. Let me remind you that another great writer, dramatist, Harold Pinter, was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. I loved Pinter's plays. I would always go to theater to follow this. But yet again, he was on a similar side as Handke during the series of post-Yugoslav wars, and especially during the war in Bosnia-Herzegovina. Handke basically stood on the side that he might have seen as anti-American, anti-Western. He might be very critical of some of the values that are to be found across the developed countries of the Western world. However, for me, the disappointment was and still is that such a writer, if he is so talented and a great writer, and some of his works ended up in theaters and in cinema, that he didn't see what was going on, to stand up to the objective points of view and to just deny what was so obvious, it was really shocking. This is why I feel hard. And also, sorry, yes.
Yeah, no, so for those who say, no, we should just value his work based on its merits as literature, the literature being literature, and forget his politics. Your response is what?
Well, we have Kevin Spacey, a great actor who just disappeared from movie screens. Roman Polanski is still around. There was a huge list of people from film industry that supported him, yet he admitted that he actually had sexual relationship with an underage girl. So something that is completely morally and legally unacceptable. We have plenty of this kind of stuff, but this is not kind of controversy like Mario Vargas Llosa. His right-wing political views might be controversial, but this is not supporting some war criminal or supporting crimes committed against humanity. This is really the problem that I see.
Yeah, he was really flippant when people asked him about it. He said, I'm not sure I'm allowed to say this word live on TV, but he said this is a calligraphy of SHIT when people asked him about his denial of genocide in Srebrenica and so on. I wonder, in a roundabout way, because the Nobel Committee gave him this prize, and then there was the backlash, and now we've seen, especially on social media, we had Christian Amanpour and other journalists who covered the war saying, hold on, this is wrong, and we're going to show you the Serb atrocities that we covered from the Balkans wars. He's completely wrong when it comes to his Milosevic support and his denial of that genocide. So in a way, especially for a young generation, people are now becoming aware of what happened. Maybe in a roundabout way, this might be a good thing. What do you think?
All right, to remind new generations, you rightly pointed out, this might kind of lead to some kind of, I would call it collateral damage that would be actually collateral positive sides. But generally, I mean, he felt the need, he felt, I know, he admired Slobodan Milosevic, he felt the need to go and deliver the speech at his funeral. Salman Rushdie named him as a runner-up in the Moron of the Year competition that year. These are the problems that I really have. And to have but also it's more universal. Nobel Prize Committee committed huge mistake, but also, for example, Bosniak community is especially affected because it hurts them more than anyone else.
It's a great, yes, certainly.
Yes.
Neven, I've got to wrap. I'm so sorry, but I'm looking forward to having you back on the program soon. I thank you very much for joining us here.